Yeah, I think from a little bit of experience from last year, we managed to set one good score of 280, and we did that by forming a foundation at the top. And we, if I remember correctly, we were 2 down for 80, and then a little bit of a collapse, 150 or so for 5, but cashed in a really hard from over 44. So I guess that's one method you can do it. Yeah, I mean, it's a 9:30 start, which has historically and statistically been a big factor over here in Nepal. So you can't shy away from that. You just got to find a method of playing the best game possible. If you're up against the statistics, and yeah, that if life didn't want you to win the toss on a specific day, you still got to play the game of cricket. You can't not go on the field. So you need some sort of process, and you got to really back that process. JJ Smith showed his type of process that he used. He was very calm and then put away certain deliveries, and he managed to score after staying in there for a period of time. So I guess cashing in that back end when it gets a little bit flatter towards the end is probably the best way of doing it. And then yeah, then just squeezing in the field, and hopefully a bit of lowness, a bit of reverse swing, a good spell of spin bowling here and there in the second innings. When it does get a bit flatter, could still win you the game. So yeah, there's going to be a scenario, I think, in this series somewhere where someone gives it a real good push to defend a total on here. And yeah, I think the first team that does that will feel really proud of themselves in doing that. And as a Namibian team, we'd like to be that team that if we get put into bat first, we'd still like to win one of those games on tour. Yeah, again, like I said, from my experience from last year, it's really a tough ground to defend on. And from what we've seen in these couple of games earlier in the afternoon, or from about 12 o'clock or so, then sun bakes the pitch a little bit, I guess. Then it is a ground that is tough to defend on. It's small, the ball flies at altitude, so if you can create a scenario where you can go for a bit of death hitting, I think that's your best chance of batting first and heaping up runs. Yeah, I thought we tried to play the extra batter today. Obviously, just too much damage done in the first 15 or 20 overs to even get to a scenario of going for a little bit of death hitting or so. So no, I think it's in international cricket, it's hardly ever the case anymore where you'd put in a morning watchman of some sort or something like that. I think the guys, you're picked for a certain skill, and you really want to back yourself to be adaptable enough in certain conditions, and to use your experience to get around certain conditions. So I think the guys who are put in their roles to do a certain job need to adapt and need to find a way, and I think that's the right way to do it. You're paid to do a certain job, and I don't think there'll be any hiding, or there'll be any chopping and changing of or any theoretical batting orders coming forth. For us, we just played the extra batter today because we felt it was spin dominant throughout the course of what we've played here. We felt we didn't need another seamer, so yeah, on another day that could work out well for us, the extra batter. No, not really. I haven't quite. I've watched Mark Watt bowl, and he's a really canny and good bowler, and I've seen players do it, throughout their careers. I reckon one of the first guys I saw was Pollard doing it. So it's always been in the back of my mind that if there are certain, I guess, variation that you can use, and you can bowl it well, then why not? So as I've progressed in my skill in bowling, I've just added that to the locker. Yeah, we'll continue to back the 11 that we think we're going to get to vital World Cricket League points. So that's the guys that we'll go with. Everyone that's in this squad understands that fully, and they're playing for this team and for the country. A very proud bunch of guys that we do have in Namibia, and it's sort of been one of the strengths throughout our last 4 years, is that willingness to buy into a very tight ship, and to buy into a culture that is run very well. And I think JP has been phenomenal in the way he's come back. Yeah, so we'll back all the players that are here. It's just a matter of what type of skill and experience you need on a given day to win those 2 points, and we'll try as a management to put that together and back all the guys that we put out onto the field. Now, we saw the way that the Dutch guys came back today after probably a low morale loss the other day. So it's a different, cricketers like that. It's a different day every day. Lots of talk obviously about the conditions in this series, but things change. We could have bat first wickets by the end of this tournament, who knows. So yeah, there's just a great optimism in this team that the next game could be different. That's sort of a pact that we've made between all of us on tour. That there's 8 opportunities for us to take, and if you're not going to be optimistic about those opportunities out here, then I guess you're playing the game for the wrong reasons. So we'll be evenly energized and excited about the next game against Nepal. Yeah, it'll be great to have 2 out of 2 wins against Nepal in Nepal. That's something that's a massive opportunity for us now going to the next game. Yeah, I guess the teams have tried to use the defensive approach, batting first because they want to set that foundation and try and maybe exploit the latter part of the innings when the pitch does play a little bit better, I guess when the ball's a little bit softer. So that's something that a batter out there needs to adjust accordingly. He needs to make good decisions when he's out on the field, which options he takes, which parts of the ground he takes on. Yeah, I thought this morning when it was slow and turning quite a fair amount, we probably tried to go too hard at some deliveries, including myself. So it's all about using your experience and using your cricket nous out there to battle it out and then find the best way. If that's an attack for certain players, then that's what he needs to go for and stand accountable for. If it's a good defence for other players, which JJ Smith used a little bit of both, a calm defence, but using his levers to hit the ball for 6 every now and again, then that's his way to do it. And I think that's what makes cricket quite special, is that everyone has different ways to do it. You just got to find the best way in that 9:30 start to do your job.